has a fresh new look for spring. We've remodeled in several areas of our store. This has allowed us to bring in beautiful new merchandise, many of which we have created stories with, or themes if you will. Right now, Liza and I are standing next to the Catesby collection, and Liza, can you tell us a little bit about the collection and the inspiration behind it?
Well, Joanna, I'm so glad that one of the themes that we chose to highlight at the Craft House was the 18th century fascination with natural history. You know, with the opening up of new worlds and trade and colonization, England was suddenly realizing there were all kinds of animals and flowers and plants that they had never seen before. And so naturalists or scientists wanted to come to the New World and document these. And one of those who we're particularly fond of here because he came to Williamsburg, where his sister lived, was Mark Catesby.
Interesting.
And Catesby eventually published a really important folio of the birds of Virginia, the Carolinas, Florida, and the Bahamas. We have that rare book in our library, and it formed the basis of this collection that we call Catesby Collage. Now, collage because we're used not just Catesby's images of birds and flowers that were native to Virginia and other parts of the New World, but also the designer Tamara Bryant with Creative Co-op, the new license that we're working with on this line, thought it would be fun to layer in other design elements from the Williamsburg collection. And when she walked into the George Wythe house, she was immediately drawn to the damask wallpaper on the parlor. And so this border element that you see behind all of the birds was part of the wallpaper damask design. And she also recolored the backgrounds of these, so the vibrant corals and the fashionable yellow greens, the bright blue, and there's a green that's the fourth color in this collage, were all part of Tamara's reimagining of Catesby's original work. But the Catesby collage is not the only part of what we've called the Garden Story collection. You know how our visitors love the gardens in the historic area.
Absolutely.
And they are really one of the legendary attractions of Williamsburg. And so Tamara wanted to play off of things that visitors see in the garden. So whether it was using designs of gates from the garden or using 18th century designs for summer houses and follies and rare books in the collection, that's all part of it. Or even a fret design on the lantern. The lantern surprises people because this sort of fret design is certainly very popular in 2011, but it's a design that's at least 250 years old in the way Chippendale used it as a Gothic inspiration from his pattern book that was called The Gentleman and Cabinet Maker's Director. And it was a very expensive pattern book, and only very successful cabinet makers would have been able to afford it. But he showed a range of fret designs, and one of them was this Gothic fret that has been translated into the lantern screen.
The inspiration behind the Garden Story, the Catesby collection, and the lanterns is just absolutely beautiful, and it's so nice that all of our guests can take a piece of this modern history, if you will, home with them. So, thank you.
Joanna, one of my favorite parts of the Garden Story collection is this green platter. And when I first saw it in the Creative Co-op showroom, I teased Tamara Bryant, the designer, that it's a good thing they had it well marked on the back, because otherwise it might pass for one of Josiah Wedgwood's originals. What is so exciting about it is that Wedgwood developed a green glaze in 1759 that all of his customers were so excited because it allowed him to make pineapple wares and cauliflower wares and pear teapots and the sort of vegetable mania that was really popular in the early 1760s. And we see these all over Williamsburg in archaeological excavations. And shards that match this were found at Weatherburn's Tavern. And we have antique dishes in the collection that we've bought because we have those shards excavated here, but they did a beautiful job of hand molding this and stippling the background, and it's really a work of art.
The detail is beautiful. The color is beautiful.
Is incredible. As you know, this is one that I'm buying for myself, but this, and it's also at a really good price point.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of bang for the buck.